recording. All right, let's do that now again. All right. Hey guys, this is Akil Tonkins Robinson, and I wanted to hop on today and talk about Clubhouse. If you've been following my YouTube channel, I know some of you guys are watching over here on Facebook, but if you've been following my YouTube channel, I've been doing a series of posts about how businesses and entrepreneurs can use Clubhouse in order to pretty much to better their business, to grow their audience, to get out there, get found, get visible, all the things we talk about here on the Girl Get Visible channel and the Girl Get Visible page. And so today I'm actually doing a video about something someone asked me that I didn't even think to do, but I'm glad I was asked, right? So Clubhouse clubs, right? I talked a little bit in my other videos about rooms, about topics to start with the rooms, how to be strategic. I gave you guys a walkthrough. And today I want to talk about these things called clubs. And the reason why I hadn't really talked about it before is because not everyone had a club. And now just this past week, they just dumped like 10,000 clubs into the app. And so that is a pretty big deal that now 10,000 new people have clubs, and they are all thinking about, how do I grow this thing? How do I monetize this thing? How do I do all the things with this thing, right? So I wanted to hop on today and give you guys, and I'm going to do like a walkthrough on my page and all other type of stuff, but I wanted to come in today and give you guys a little bit of info about what to do with your club, how to make it work the best for your business, because it's all this is about, right? All this is about getting to your business, getting to your sales, getting in front of your ideal client, and all the good things. And so clubs is a great way to do it. So first, let me explain what clubs are, right? Clubs are like little segments, I guess, of Clubhouse. Think of them like pages or groups without like the whole kind of fancy layout, right? So they're like little groups where people can join your club, and you can then alert those people every time you do a new room. So the rooms go under the clubs, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about in a minute. The rooms go under a club. You can either do a room as a club or do a room as an individual, like your own room, not attached to the club, right? The rooms in the club can be either public rooms where the club is like hosting it, so you'll see it at the top, but the everybody who is following or who is a member of the club gets an alert that says, hey, this particular club just started. So I have two clubs, which I'll show you guys in a minute. I have an SEO club and I have a ladies in podcasting club. And so when anyone who's following it, and I got like a couple of thousand who's following both, anyone who's following it, every time I go live and do a room in those clubs, they get an alert. They get a ping that says, hey, this club is doing this. Also in the hallway, they'll also now see a little icon with a club, and they'll see that the SEO club is doing a room. Now that's really good because that means not everybody has to follow me. I don't have to follow everybody. They can just follow the club. Also, I don't have this feature turned on, but I'll show you guys in a minute. Other people could start rooms in the club. So the clubs, like there's one club that is crazy that has like rooms, like maybe they can have like 5-10 rooms going at one time, different topics, because different people started the rooms of the club, right? So that's one thing the clubs can do. Other thing the clubs can do are private rooms. So you can maybe bring in a special guest, or you can maybe decide you want to do like a real in-depth training that's only for your people, or think about like a webinar that's only for your people. And so you can do a members only room that is only for people who are members of the club. And I'm going to show you guys in a minute the difference between followers and members, but only for people who are members of the club. So if they're a member, meaning you've accepted them as to be a member, then now they can be part of these like private events. We just used it really this weekend for my organization, for my sorority, where of course only members of the organization are members of the club. And so we had a couple of events that were just for us, and then we had a couple of events that were just like for everybody and everything, because it was Founders Day. So we did like some that was for everybody. It was open, it's just sponsored by the club, and some that was just for us. So first thing is really important. I'm going to hop on over to my screen, and I think you guys can see on Facebook. I'm going to hope you guys can see on Facebook, right? I want to say, let me know if you can't, but I don't know if you can even tell me if you can't. So let me get my little screen mirror thing popping. All right. we got the screen mirror thing popping, and let's go into Clubhouse. All right. I'm in my activities, right? So you guys see here in Clubhouse, right? You see all the places with the little green boxes, and I'm not going to go into any rooms because you guys know not supposed to be recording rooms and all that other good stuff. So we will not be going into any of them, but I want to show you guys this club situation, right? So you see the little green boxes like up here where it says the Helping Homies Win. That is a club. So Helping Homies Win is having an event at 9:40. And then like you can see down here, my hallway that Women in Business is having. Women in Business has a lot of events. And you see the little lock sign tells me that it's only for people who are in Women in Business. And one of the reasons for that is because Women in Business allows their members to open up clubs. But when a member opens a club, so if you're thinking, well, I don't know if I want my members in, I'm not really sure. But if you're thinking, do I want my members to do rooms? Know that if they do a room, it only goes out to other members. They won't be able to do a room that goes out to the public. So you can kind of control that a little bit. So that's pretty sweet, right? When you get to clubs, so this is my account. I don't mind showing you guys, right? You see down at the bottom here, I'm going to move it where it says members of. Down at the bottom here, this is all of the clubs that I am following or a member of. And you see I'm following quite a bit. So this is all of them. The first clubs on here on the list are the clubs that I'm an admin of. Admin meaning that either they're my clubs, so like the SEO here that we're going to talk about in a minute, SEO and the podcast are both my clubs. The Zeta one is one that I'm an admin with a couple of other Zetas. So those are the three. And anytime you have a club, the club will be like the first things in your thing. So if you are still waiting for a club and you're like, I don't know when I'm going to get my club, don't worry. It will always show up like the first ones here on your thing when you have a club, right? So we're going to go into my SEO club. It's my club, right? It's my club, y'all. If you are in Clubhouse, come join me in the SEO Content Marketing and Search Stuff Club. That is one of my clubs. Here you can change the picture. So you see both my clubs, my two clubs down at the bottom, they have alike pictures because I wanted to kind of make sure people knew it was me, kind of my little, trademark thing going on there. And then you can come in and you can set the description. And to set that stuff, you just have to view club photo or change club photo if you wanted to change it. If you wanted to change the description, you just tap on that. And I think you got to go up here. You can edit the club topics, the rules, the description. You can edit all that stuff if you wanted to change any of this stuff. And I'll go through that in pretty detail in a minute, right? If you look down here, you'll see two numbers. You'll see my members and you'll see my followers. Now, here's the craziness, right? The fact that you have to go in each and every person one by one and make them a member, invite them to be a member. So I'm going to try to find somebody that's not been invited yet. No. All right. I've invited a lot of people apparently. It's 5,000 people, y'all. All right, you see here how it says add as member. This because I have not added this person as a member. Once I add them as a member, then they get an invite. They can accept or decline the invite. And then that's how you get from the followers to the members. It is and I put in a request for this. I know other people have. It is a very manual process as of January 17th, 2021. So let's pray this gets better and easier. Because as you can see, I've got 5,000 people waiting. And if you are waiting, I'm sorry. It's just a very, very manual process. So, but right now I only do public events. So it's not really that big of a deal or not really that bad of a thing that people are waiting. Right. So let me get into some of the security parts to the club. Right. So if you go here where it says edit topics, you can actually, this is kind of newish where you can now search for clubs and you can search for them by topics or by names or other things. And so if I go into my edit club topics, I can pick a topic that goes with my club up to 3 topics. So I pick like marketing and something else. And you will see down here at the bottom where it says marketing. Oops, marketing, small business, entrepreneurship. Those are the topics based on what I picked, right? I can also make club rules. So I don't have any rules for my club, but like my organization, we've got a club rule that says something like, you must be part of the organization, that kind of thing. So you can make those kind of rules. This is big. So don't allow followers. Some people don't want followers at all. So I can actually disable if I don't want people following me. So if it was like, again, for the organization, if we want to make sure it was super locked down, we could not allow followers. I don't want to do that because I got 5,000 people and they'll be mad at me, right? So we absolutely do not want to do that. Let members start rooms. You can turn that off and on as well. And you just would click it and say, yes, I want to allow members to start rooms, or no, I don't want to allow members to start rooms. I did not, and this is taking a little longer than it should. Let's hope I didn't break something, guys. Uh-oh. For those who are on Clubhouse, that means something is big probably happening on Clubhouse. Let's hope I didn't break it. All right, I might have broke it a little bit, guys. All right, they're having some problems. They have some problems like that. So sometimes you get the little red box and you just kind of continue on with your day. But if I wanted to let members start room, I would click the let members start room. That's to tell other people they can start rooms. But remember, the rooms would only be private rooms. They would not be, private rooms only for members. They would not be, my Grubhub order coming in. Everything's coming in while I'm talking, right? They would not be rooms for other people, right? The other thing, now this we're going to get to in a minute, this show members list, I had to turn this off because I found out from another friend's group that this is a bit of a security problem, right? So that is if you want to show members, meaning other people, when they come and they are now looking at clubs, they can see who's a member of your club. I keep that turned off because, like I said, I found that there was a little security issue with that, which I will talk about in a minute when I talk about how to kind of grow this thing, right? And then you can edit description. I could leave the club. I don't know what happens there since it is my club. I'm not sure if I would do that, right? Last thing I'm going to show you guys here on the screen is how to invite people. So if I wanted to invite people, I could use a secret link. I have not done that yet because I think it's the same link and you don't want to give people that. I can show anyone who's been nominated. People can actually suggest their friends and they call that nomination to be in your club. I can search my Clubhouse contacts. I can go through all my friends and say, hey, you guys want to be in here? Or I can search my contacts in my phone. Every club, my club doesn't have any right now. At least I don't think it does. Yeah, I'm out of invites. Every club, when you first start the club, gets a number of invites, like maybe like 5 or 10 invites. And then if your club is super active, you get more invites. And it's just like inviting a person, but you'll be invited through the club and be directly in the club. So it's kind of cool. And if you have a club, like I said, you kind of get extra invites. Be careful, because what I did when I first got in this app, I did not realize that I had those invites. And so when people were nominating people to join my club, they were nominating people and I was just letting them in, not realizing that some of the people were outside of the app. Not all the people were inside. And now I made it clear. Now it says like in the app, out of the app. And you want to make sure if they're out of the app, just decline those, because you don't know those people unless it's somebody you know. You don't know those people. You don't want to just be letting them into the app. Let them get their way in the app and then they can join your club. That's kind of my suggestion, right? But I went through my invites in probably less than 30 minutes because I was just like bing, bing, bing. And people have figured out now that if they just do that, if they just nominate you from a club, that they can somehow backdoor their friends into the app. Don't do that. I'm glad y'all watching this video because don't do that, right? So that is a little bit about the clubs, about the kind of logistics stuff of the clubs. How you find the club, how you get in the club. If you're in and you're like, I want to find clubs, you can go in here. Now you can search clubs. So if I wanted to search, SEO clubs, I put SEO up there and I would put clubs here and I would see any SEO clubs that are out there. Looks like there are now 2 SEO clubs out there. Mine is by far the biggest. We're doing good, right? But one thing I will say, again, because I did not really know this when I first started, the reason why I have so many followers that aren't members is because I did not realize I had to go in and make each member, make each follower a member. And once you don't do that, you see 5,000 people, that's a lot for me to go through. And so it can get to be a lot. So I'm going to say, if you just got your club, first thing I want you to do, because I'm just waving this thing around. If you just got your club, one of the first things I want you to do is go in there and make sure that you are approving your people in your club, right? Because or not approving them, but making them become members, putting them as members, because it's very tedious. You guys saw how manual it can be, right? So that's everything about the clubs. All right, I'm going to stop the screen share. So let's talk about, so that's the logistics, right? Now we know how to work a club. Let's talk about growing a club, keeping your club secure, and really using your club to maximize it for your business, because that's what we do this for, right? All of this, yes, people like my organization, we have a club that's more social, but I'm assuming most of you guys who are watching me, watching this channel, watching this page, you guys are business owners and you want to really be able to grow and maximize having something like a club here on Clubhouse, right? And this is all as of January 17th, 2021. And I keep saying that because these groups, this app keeps changing. This app is like a forever, it's like growing around us. That's one of the things that people say, they're building it around us. So some things may change, some things may like fluctuate a little bit. But like I said, as of January, we're doing pretty good. And these growth strategies, I'm going to say they're growth strategies forever. So some of the things that were really important when I got my club. First of all, naming your club something that other people want to join. That is super important, because fact of the matter is, people are going to see your club either in their hallway or see it as they do that search or see it on some other person's page, because you can see the clubs that somebody joins at the bottom of their page, like I showed you at the bottom of my page. But people are going to see the name, and if your club is like Akilah Tompkins Land, they're not going to know what's going on in there. And they're not going to like, yes, they can click through the description, but let's be serious. Let's be clear, right? Most people aren't going to do that. They're just going to be like, I don't know nothing about Akilah Tompkins Land. I'm going to ignore Akilah Tompkins Land, and they're going to continue on their way. So it's just going to make it that much harder for you to grow your club. Now, you can still have rooms in your club under your name. I see one or two people that like have a show that's their name, and then they have rooms under it. But to me, that's just one extra step that you don't got to do, right? So make sure that it's something, not just your business name, unless your business name is something that is very much in line with what you do. So like, I have a client who's probably going to listen to this, Pinch of Soul Cooking, right? She could easily do a Pinch of Soul Cooking club because her name kind of talks about the fact that she talks about food and cooking and stuff like that. Now, again, if it was like Akilah Tompkins Club, my name says none of those things. Even why I wind up making the SEO Club, which is actually pretty long. I'm going to say make it short if you can. So again, don't be like me, be better than me. The SEO Club, the reason why I made it that is because of the name. And I was thinking I might do a Girl Get Visible Club. I was thinking of actually starting more than one. Now they've restricted it to people only being able to get one club. When I got in, they were just like, get your club now, which is how I wound up getting two clubs, because I put them in at the same time. And I was like, I'll do Girl Get Visible later. So I did mess up and not get Girl Get Visible, but I was thinking that people would not know about what Girl Get Visible is if they don't know the brand. And because we talk about listening to your customers, listening to your audience, making sure that they know they are able to search for you. That's why I went with the SEO Club instead of going with, any of the other names that I could have potentially picked out for this, right? So when you are thinking of your name, be strategic. Don't make it all like, something very like cheeky, or don't make it all something very like about you or about your name. Think about your audience. Think, is this something that people are just going to want to click into and join? So that's one thing about when you get your club, make sure you got a good club name. Second thing, and let's talk about how you even get a club. So to get a club, you would go to, clubhouseguide.net or .com. And there's also a link in the actual app under the little gear, and you can fill out a form to get the club. Now, I'm hearing kind of 2 or 3 stories on the approval process now. One thing, like on the app, if you read the instructions, it says you have to do a room at the same day, same time, 3 weeks in a row. I've known people to do rooms more frequently and similar names. So like they'll like put the club name and then they'll put something else. But I've seen people do rooms more frequently and get their clubs much faster. I know somebody got a club in 4 days, right? 4 days. Some people have been waiting months, but this person got it in 4 days. But she also did like 4 days of killer rooms from like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Like they was just in there, right? And so those are the things that Clubhouse is looking at when they're like prioritizing rooms. If it's a busy room, if it's a room with a lot of people in it, if it's a room that's going to last a long time, they have all those metrics. We can't see them, but they can. So as soon as you think about I want a club, start doing some rooms. Like you're not going to get a club if you're not doing some rooms. I'm just going to tell you. It's not going to happen, right? So that is one way to get it. Then, like I said, the official way is 3 weeks, and it's not automatic. They've even said this on the town hall a couple of times. It is a very manual process. So they go in there and they make sure that they manually set up each and every one of these. So don't think I did my three rooms, my 3 weeks, and now where's my club? Because depending on where you are in the queue, it may be a little while before you get the club. But I'm going to tell you, keep doing your rooms. Don't be deterred because you'll still be gathering people. You'll still be getting people who want to know. You can even set up an opt-in, right? So we're going to be real strategic, right? You can even set up an opt-in like, hey, go to my IG, join my link in my bio. As soon as we get the club, you'll be the first to know. Be strategic, right? We're all about being strategic here. So you can set up an opt-in that's going to get you some email addresses of your club members and already going to have people ready to get into your club as soon as you get in. So don't stop doing the rooms, even if it takes a while for the club itself to be approved. So that is the other thing. Next thing, let's talk about what you do in the club. So most people are going to want to get in the clubs. I know us businesses, right? We want to get things and we want to talk all about ourselves. I'm going to say treat this no different than SEO. Definitely go back to, and if you're on YouTube, I'm going to try to put a card somewhere around here. Go back to the videos I did about topics because that very much applies to once you're in the club. You still want topics that people want to enjoy. You don't just want it to be a lecture series. You don't want to just be all about you land. You still want things that people are going to want to learn about, people are going to want to participate in, people are going to want to enjoy. So I try to do a couple of things. I do something that I kind of talk a little bit. I don't do any rooms where it's just me on stage talking, but I might talk for like 5-10 minutes, kind of intro to the subject, and then do some type of round robin. I might have some guests on stage. I might do some panels on stage, stuff like that. So that is one option. You can do a couple of rooms like that. I also, especially my podcast, my ladies in podcasting group, I do what I call more of a community activity. And I call it community activity because it's like no one's like the star. What it is, the one I do is a matchmaking event where I match up guests to host. And so people just come on stage and talk about, this is my show, I'm looking for guests on this. Or they say, hey, I'm a pretty good guest, I'm looking for shows, or I'm good for shows that do this. And I tell people to DM each other. And it literally is just a matchmaking. So while I am like the host, I am not the one that's like telling people how to do their podcast or telling them anything for that matter. I'm just more facilitating a community activity of networking. So clubs that have something like that will keep people more engaged, will keep people happy. It will also get people to nominate their friends because that's how you grow. You don't just want it to be you telling everybody. You want to make sure you nominate the friends, right? Nominate friends. Can you invite people and stuff like that? So that is another thing I do in the rooms. The second thing to consider, also bringing in guests. I think I mentioned that, like bringing in guests and having like a certain person come be a speaker. I have one friend who has a club that every week, every Monday, she does a room where she has a special guest and it's a really good discussion. They do like a little bit of panel discussion. Then she brings up people to do some Q&A, another type of room. So keep it a variety of rooms, not just all about one thing, all about one person. Again, think of a club just like a club that people would go to. People are going to want variety. People are going to want to enjoy themselves, or they won't follow your club. They will see that little green house and they will keep on scrolling, or they'll unfollow the club altogether. So think about that as you're bringing people into the club. You really want to invite people to be engaged and be part of it. Last thing I want to talk about is, I didn't talk about growing it. So growing the club, in the club itself and outside the club. Every time I do a room, because sometimes people don't pay that much attention to, if it's a public room, they'll just go in the room because they like the topic. They're not always paying attention to what the club is. So if you're doing a room in your club, you want to make sure that you always say, hit the little green house. Everybody calls it the green Monopoly house. Hit the little green Monopoly house above because, and I know it's on the screen, so I'm pointing up like it's there, but you guys saw it on the screen, right? Click the little green Monopoly house because this club is the SEO Club, and we do events like this if you guys want to know more about them and follow them. So I say that a lot as I'm like resetting the room, as I'm talking. So that way people can hit the little green button, hit the little green house, and they can make sure that they follow the club. So that's a good way to get people in the club. Also, when I'm in other people's clubs, like if I'm in somebody else's room, on somebody else's stage, talking about whatever, I always mention I have clubs for, and then usually I don't do both because I don't like to do, but so many call to actions. But if I'm talking about SEO, I'll say I've got an SEO club. If I'm talking about podcasting, I'll say I've got a ladies in podcasting club. So I will tell people that there's a club, tell them to look down in my bio for the little blue icons, because I've got those little blue icons on purpose, right? Tell them to look for the little icons, and then they can follow the club. So that is another way to grow your club audience. I don't see a lot of people doing that, which you saw how many people in some of those clubs, right? So I don't see a lot of people doing that, but I want you guys to do it. So I'm telling you to make sure that you hit the little buttons, do all the things so that people can get up in your clubs. Last thing, and I'm just going to check this really, really quick. Okay. Last thing I'm going to tell you guys is, hold on, my Grubhub order is here. This is definitely live, just in case you didn't think it was. Let me tell my husband. All right. So last thing I want to talk about is a little bit about security. So clubs are great, right? Perfect. Nice. Love them. Can't wait to get one. But I have run into a little security issue with club. Well, not my club, actually someone else's club. And this is why it pays to have friends, right? Because someone, and this is why I now hide my members list. So I'm going to recommend that you guys hide your members list. Someone, I'm in one of my friends' club, one of my like business friends, person I've known for years here on Facebook. I am in their club. And one day I got a message on Instagram, because people can click through bios, click through the links, blah, blah, blah. I get a message on Instagram from someone telling me that she sees that I'm in this club and asking me if I'm saying, okay, you know, I see you're interested in this. Would you like to connect because she offers such and such service? Now, because I know the person who runs the club, I immediately was like, who you? You know? So I immediately went and messaged my friends and screenshots and the whole nine. And so just beware that that type of thing can happen. I've only seen it once. I'm in a ton of clubs. I've only seen it once, but once is enough. So one of the things that I did was hid my members list. So people can't see your followers list. So that whole thousands of followers, they just can't see it all. But I also hide my members list. So they can see the number of members in my club, but they can't see all the names and all the people who are in there, because it is that easy. And it didn't even dawn on me. You know, sometimes we just don't think bad things can happen till someone does them. And that's exactly what happened in this case, because it did not even dawn on me that you could do something like that until this person came, you know, right, strolling up in my inbox talking about, hey, I see you do this. And I mean, the person had like under 100 followers on Instagram and stuff. And if I didn't know the person who owned that group, that club, I probably would have been like, I probably would have thought they were like scammy and leave, but that's not the point. But you never know who might have thought something different, right? I just happen to know the person, and I even and I checked, like, is this somebody you know? Is this somebody you have reaching out to people? And none of that was happening. None of that was happening. So I'm going to say this to you guys again, because you're watching me, because you're here, because you want to learn about these things. Make sure you're keeping your members secure. I would even let members know, like when you have events, I might even tell them that I'm not going to be like, we will never inbox you. Again, you can get them on that email list. So we talked about growing the email before you get the club. You can continue to have like a club list on once you get on there. Like there's no links or anything in the app. But I can't show you because I already turned it off. But if you went in the description, I've seen people say, you know, follow this link in the description. It's not clickable, but people can definitely type it and write it and stuff. Also, when you have rooms, you can say, you know, text 212 at, you know, Clubhouse and sign up to be the next time we go live in this room. So you can kind of do some things, again, to get people from in your clubs and in your rooms on Clubhouse off the app and into your email, your text messaging, but to another platform that you can be able to to continue communication. I know there have been lots of requests because I go to the, every Sunday they do a town hall, and then every Sunday there's a town hall recap. And so I go to both if possible, but definitely the recap. Sometimes the recap is better than the meeting. But I go to both of them, and I know there's been like requests to do all kinds of things. Hold on, I'm getting all kinds of alerts, but there have been requests to change the ability for people, how you get people in. There have been requests to maybe let all members in. Like, there have been all kinds of requests that people are putting in. If you are new to the app, or if you're just on it, if you got some requests, I definitely recommend going in and putting in some requests. They are literally building it around us. So that's why I emphasize that this is as of January 17th, 2021. And I'm going to try to, of course, keep, if there's a big update, I'll do another video, but just in case there is not, check down in the comments for updates, because I can at least put them there, right? So as of January 17th, 2021, this is how clubs work. This is how you can grow your club. That part I don't think is going to change at all. People are people. So you do the things that people like, meaning you hold rooms that are going to be beneficial to them. You maybe hold some community rooms just that people can interact and network and stuff. Do like a networking around your topic. You name it something that people are going to want to click on, and you pretty much just be a good club host. And the way I was told when I first got on this app was that this is like, when I first got on, folks were like, get your club down. And I was at first, like, I literally put in like the first day, partially why my name is so long, because I just was like, I don't even know what the club about, but let me put it in, because everybody keeps saying, get your real estate now. Get your real estate on the app. Your real estate, part of your real estate is your club. Get that on the app. And, that way you can start building your community and stuff like that. Do it as soon as possible. I am so glad I listened to them, because literally within a week or maybe 2 weeks or so after I put in my application, that's when they put in the 3 meeting rule and all this other stuff. They even like said only people can have one club at a time. Like, all those rules weren't there when I first put in. So what I'm telling you guys, if you are listening to me and watching this video, I am telling you guys to go get your clubs. Figure out a name and go get your clubs, right? Because it's only going to get more, like, there's only going to be more of an approval process. It's only going to get a little bit more difficult. As the app grows, they have to measure, like, how many clubs do they want? How many people do they want? Like, how many of all these things do they want going on? So they're putting in a couple of more restrictions to it. So get it while the getting is good is pretty much the moral of the story here. So that is it. I wanted to walk you guys through clubs, give you guys some tips on building and maintaining your clubs, and definitely tell you about that little one security thing, because like I said, I haven't seen it happen to any other clubs. Like, it's not like my inbox is getting inundated, but it only takes one. And now I'm schooling you guys so that hopefully you guys don't get hit with that one too. All right. I will see you guys later. If you are watching me on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. If you're watching me on Facebook, make sure you like and follow. Don't forget to comment. Tell me what you guys think and how you're doing with growing your Clubhouse. I've been talking about this like a lot, I know, but hopefully each one of these videos are helping you guys to have an amazing Clubhouse experience and really be able to use it and leverage this app for your business and to do great things out there. So talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.